Napa know-how.
There are lots of amazing cars on the road, but perhaps none more amazing than the paid-off car. It may not be pretty, but the price is right. Heck, if you keep that thing running, it'll actually start paying you. Because with Napa Rewards, for every $100 you spend, you'll get $5 off. So keep your car running longer, stronger with Napa Rewards and watch the savings start rolling in. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Sometimes we need to slow down and remember the simple pleasures in life. Good coffee, good books, and good company. Come on in. Take a seat. The coffee's just been brewed. Let's see who we have in the coffee shop today. Well, as I look around the coffee shop on this wonderful evening, who do I see? Marc Johnson. How you doing today?
Oh, same old soup, just reheated. How are you?
Oh, not bad at all. Glad to have you in the coffee shop. You've got a few books there that seem to have your name on them.
I have one or two. I got a young adult fantasy series, The Passage of Hell's Fire, and I have a few random sci-fi horror short stories and novellas, Ghosting, The Living Remnants, and Star-Crossed.
Hey, get your work out there.
Yeah, I like to bounce around. That might be why it's taking me longer to write my fourth book than most other authors. I don't want to get bored, to be honest.
I totally understand the bouncing around. That's why I have 2 podcasts or internet radio shows. I'm always bouncing off on one topic or another.
I completely agree. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm terrible at making friends, writer friends anyway. But I don't know how they feel like they are able to pump out so many books in a series so fast. Like, for me, I would just be, I'd be burned out like a Twitch streamer or something.
Well, my favorite well-known author does 1 book a year.
Oh, which author is that?
Brad Thor. He happens to be a thriller writer. He puts out 1 book every year like clockwork.
Oh, is it always the whatever, I guess, series he's in, or is it like a different...
Well, what it is, it's the same recurring cast of characters. So his main character, Scott Harvath, is always the same. And you can pick up any of his 17 books and read them out of order, but you'll miss some of the character development, things that have changed in Scott's life over the time. But they're all still standalones, so it makes it really neat. And he writes thriller, military. Scott's always going after the bad guys.
Okay. Oh, I've never heard of him. I also, aside from bouncing around, I also tend to take breaks. After I'm done with something, I'll take a month or 2 or 3 off and relax, I guess. I don't know. I could probably work harder, but I don't.
We all need time off, and I'm no writer, so I'm probably the last one to ask for advice, but I've heard a lot of people give it on my coffee shops, so maybe you'll become a listener.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I have any advice for people, though. Or any good advice.
Hey, people learn from all kinds of things, and everybody's got their own style. So you have 3 books in your young adult series out?
Yes, that's correct. The last one was Reawakening, which is just about to come out in audio. I have to listen to those audio files. Thank God I'm not reading it, because who'd want to listen to my voice for like 8 to 10 hours?
Oh, I think your voice is just fine.
Thank you. You're the only one, though.
I'm on air often enough, so. Are you one of those plotters? You sit down and plot out your book and you know what the character's going to do in every scene? Or are you more of a pantser where you just sit down and start writing and see where the characters take you?
I would say I don't know. I don't think you're firmly in one or the other, but if I'd have to put it, I'd be mostly a plotter. It's like I'm working on my 4th book now, and even though I outlined it and I know where I want to get the characters from A to B and what like major plot points I want to get, I still am surprising myself kind of with how I'm getting there, what things I'm putting in their way, I guess ratcheting up the tension, and even what characters I'm following around. So there's still a lot of wiggle room. I think people have this misconception that just because you outline, everything's detailed and you can't go off of the outline. I mean, I go off the outline all the time, but you don't need to like stick to it. I think you gotta have a start and an end, like where you want to end up. But the middle, you can get there however you want. Preferably, I think it'd be better if it made sense.
I think that's great advice, and I think that puts you into a category I've nicknamed the hybrids. You know you want plot point A to happen, plot point B to happen, and plot point C to happen, but how we get from A to B and B to C, well, that's up in the air.
Yeah, it is. I wish I could. Back when I was younger, although to be fair, I'm not that old now, I used to just, write stuff out and see where it goes. But I think writing down how I want to get there just focuses my mind more. I don't understand the people that don't. I guess the best example I can think of is like George R.R. Martin. From what I hear, he's not a plotter. That might explain why his A Song of Fire and Ice books will never come out before he dies.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I had something about like gardening and architects. I think he's talked about it in depth before. It's really weird.
So I'm not the huge George R.R. Martin fan in the house. That would be my other half, but I may have to pick up one. You don't
watch Game of Thrones?
I am probably in the minority, but I do not. But then I watch very little TV.
It's probably for the best. I think I watch too much TV. But I love stories, so even though I'm watching TV, I still get ideas from them. I don't always have to read things in the books. Like, I love movies and comic books and plays. I just love the stories, like I said.
See, I'm the consummate reader, and my other half, I'm a news junkie. I am an absolute news junkie. I will. I'll go to not one news website. I'll go to 30.
Wow, and you don't find yourself overloaded with news?
I'm fascinated because I'll pick up some little thing on one news site, and then I'll chase that thread all the way around and see how much more I can find out about it. I'll just run off down these rabbit holes.
Okay. Yeah, see, I guess I'm like you, where you don't watch TV. I don't really pay attention to news. I have no idea what's going on in the world out there. I'm in my own little bubble.
I could probably tell you more than you wanted to know, so we're just going to let it go at that and get back to books. That's the other thing I do. I read. I am a voracious reader.
Oh, that's good. I love it. I wish I could read more. I don't read as much as I used to, sad to say. I don't know. Like, I kind of miss it. I'm reading a book now, but I used to read like 3 to 5 at a time.
Oh, I do one book at a time, but I almost have no choice in that. Because I've been blessed with an insane reading speed. I read very quickly. I read in the order of 2,500 words a minute.
Okay, I don't know what that means. I know it, like typing fast. I could translate that, but I don't know.
The U.S. national average is about 150 to 250 words a minute. I read it 10 times that.
Oh, that's a lot.
Exactly, and if I want to skim, you can take that up to 4,000 words a minute.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
wow.
why I'm such a voracious reader, because I can get through a whole full-length novel in a couple of hours.
Yeah, I noticed, a few years ago when I started reading primarily ebooks, some of the sites I'd go to, I don't know if Amazon does this, but they would like list how long it would take to read a book. I thought that was kind of cool.
I know Amazon does it because my Kindle is never far away. It's sitting on the corner of my desk right now.
Oh, I have mine, but it probably needs to be powered. I'm reading a physical book right now. It's kind of weird. That might be why it's taking me longer. I'm enjoying it. I don't know when I'm going to finish. It's kind of big, or at least it looks bigger because it's physical as opposed to an ebook.
Well, my thing about physical books is my husband, he is my second husband, but he's active duty military. And we do move every 3 to 5 years. How many physical books can we move with us?
No, I'm with you. I used to move a lot when I was younger, and I hated it, and I hated packing and carrying books. Well, packing the books was easy, but carrying them was very painful.
So that's why, other than a few select authors, we get digital only around here. But between our two our collections, we probably have a Kindle library on the order of about 6,000 books between us.
It's a lot of books.
Exactly. More than we could move. How long did it take you to write your first book when you finally sat down and said, I'm going to do it? And what made you decide to write a book?
That's tough. That's tough because I wrote Catalyst when I was 13-ish, and that was many years ago. So then what I would do, I wrote that in, I think, the summer. And it was just supposed to be a short story. I had written short stories previously. If I read them now, they'd probably be bad. Although I did enjoy that one that was like an Adventures of Milo and Otis ripoff. But that's besides the point. So I would write, I wrote that in the summer. And then like every break, like during winter break, I would basically rewrite it from scratch. And then I kept doing that maybe like 3 times a year until I was late teens, I guess, 18, 19. I don't remember. And I'd even try to write a sequel or two. But that first book, I went through a lot of drafts. And it wasn't until, I don't know, 2009, I guess, when I sent it to my editor. 09? I think it was 09. I don't remember. But I felt like she was expensive. But I finally had like a grasp of, I don't want to say how to write, but we'll say how to write. Because it was like being homeschooled with like your own teacher. And then I completely changed things around. So now, well, I don't know. It's weird because theoretically, I did write the first 3 books in the Passage of Hellfire series, but they were all terrible. So it didn't take me long to write them. It takes me longer to write a new book now because I'm old, in my 30s. But I find working on it, the redrafting takes longer. But I don't know if it takes that long because I'm curious. After I'm finished with this draft on my 4th book, when I send it to my editor, I don't know how many changes I'll have to make. Like, because even sending the drafts of the 2nd and 3rd book, there are always a lot of changes because things have changed from the 1st book and then the 2nd book, and then my writing style was better and a little different. It just takes a long time. Like, I don't know how long it takes, but it takes long. It takes a lot of work. When I think about it, it's like, man, I could be, I don't know, doing something better with my time. Nah, I love it. I love writing, but when it's like blood and tears. Is that the saying or something?
Oh yeah. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears probably goes into each of your books. And I'm going to say that I've read a lot of traditionally published, self-published. I can always tell when a book has been well edited. So I'm going to thank you for using an editor.
Oh, well, I feel like a lot of writers' goals. I don't necessarily think this is wrong of them. It's not my belief, but a lot of writers' goals is to make money. And for me, money will come and go. I'll die. I can't take it with me, so who cares? So I feel like the best thing is to put the best possible work out there because, that's all people are going to remember. It's like I remember watching this interview with Jackie Chan. And he does like hundreds of takes. Maybe not in his crappy American movies, but that's because of American studios. But he does all these takes just to get the little things down, not like the big, huge stunts. And he basically explained to the people like, yeah, you got to give it your all. You got to do the best because you can't like go to everyone in the theater and be like, sorry, I was having a bad day. I was sick that day. I didn't feel well. Like, so you got to put out the best work out there. And I'm like, I subscribe to that.
Well, I think that is a fantastic philosophy. And while I'm not a writer, trust me, I've tried. It just, to me, writing feels like a chore. Now, you give me something to read, I'm off like wildfire. Or that little red light that says I'm on air or recording lights up. I got a grin on my face and I'm happy as a clam. But for me, I just can't put the words down on paper the way all my writer friends or author friends or wordsmiths can. So I've decided I'll read the books and leave the writing to them.
Well, I think it's something you gotta love. I think I don't want to be cynical and say there probably are a few people that just in it for the money. But I do think, for the most part, it's just something you love. I just happen to have extremely high standards. That's probably why I'm single, as friends and family like to tell me. So, it doesn't just apply to my dating life. It apparently applies to my writing.
Well, I think high standards are an excellent thing. So I will commend you on them. I'm glad you think so. I will commend you on them because I've read many different self-published, independent published, even some unpublished works. And there are times where I'm going, okay, no. For example, someone was writing, and the draft has completely changed because I kind of went back to them. This is so unrealistic. If I wasn't reading this as a favor for you, I'd put it down now on page 3.
That's what early drafts are for, right?
No, this had to do with the author didn't do any research. None. 0. And it was supposed to be a thriller. And she had the brother of a leader of a country suddenly take over for the leader when the leader got shot. Not the chain of succession that is known for that country. And it wasn't the United States, but it was another Western country where you could do your research.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sitting here going, unrealistic. Plus, the leader of a country would not be opening a local amusement park at 10 o'clock at night.
That book sounds fun. I don't know.
It was just off.
Oh, okay.
I read thousands of thrillers because I'll put it this way, that's my primary genre, but trust me, I'll even read the cereal box if it sits in front of me long enough.
I haven't read a really good thriller in a while. I kind of miss it. The last couple I read were not good.
And
yeah.
So I was helping this writer friend by going through and went, no, wouldn't happen. Security detail would never do this. That's out of order. No. And I literally said, I literally cannot read any more of this. Go back, do your research. Find out what really would happen in these situations.
That's why he had you read it before he put it out there. He needs a second opinion.
Well, plus he knows that I'm a genre reader. I read in that genre. And to quote my favorite author, Brad Thor, who, if you're looking for a good thriller, we'll talk off the air. I'll recommend a couple of his titles for you. But he said, don't write what you know. Write what you read. Because if you're trying to start writing and you've read 100,000 sci-fi fantasy books or 1,000 sci-fi fantasy books, you almost have a mini PhD in that genre. You know what kind of pace you like. You know the way the arc goes. You know it, even if you haven't sat down and studied and dissected. You know it.
Yeah, that's true, but there's, disadvantages to that. You might kind of sound like whatever you've read.
True. But at least I think it gives you a base to work with versus someone who tries to cram a 90,000 word arc into a 20,000 word novella.
Yeah.
And it's all hell and no show.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough. It is tough to write.
It's a balancing act. It really is. And that's why I don't do it.
Well, I think as tough it is to write, I think the worst thing you can do for as a writer is like have nothing happen. I've read various books, a lot of books over the years, and some I liked, some I didn't, but I think the ones I hated was where like nothing literally happened. It's a very strange sensation because you expect the character has to go through something, there has to be a change, things are difficult. But this one book, and the guy sold like a ton of copies, and I think the majority of the people do love his series, which is baffling to me. I never understand it. And the guy is like a great speaker. I love listening to him on interviews and stuff. But I read his book and literally nothing happened. And it was weird. It was this sci-fi book, and it wasn't like an adventure, but it wasn't like, Star Trek all scientifical. And the guy made coffee, and he was really good at making coffee. And then at the end of the book, I don't know what happened, but he made coffee and everything was okay. There was no inciting incident, no drama, no beginning of a war, no nothing.
I think I happen to love coffee, so I'm going to say that making the coffee sounds good, but otherwise, what are we doing here besides making coffee?
I don't know. I don't drink coffee. Maybe, although I did have one too many Ractaginos last night.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good coffees.
Oh yeah, they are. Wait, how have your characters grown from when you were writing these early drafts when you were a teenager to what you actually put out on and published? How have they grown?
Well, I mean, they've been through things. There's like, my main characters have been through arcs. He's lost things and gained things. But like the changes from draft to what I put out there, one of the reasons I hired a woman editor, there are a lot of women characters, and like the main one's pretty important. So I wanted to get that right, and I know nothing about being a woman or understand them apparently. So that like she would call me out on some things, which was great. I feel like people should do that, whether they're writing the quote unquote other. Hire or talk to a person of color or a woman or someone gay or something, and then to try to get it right. I think that's the biggest change, I want to say.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. And I call that doing your research. And
go ahead.
I was going to say, it would be like suddenly putting the Sydney Opera House in Perth. Everybody would know that's wrong. Unless you can back it up with something that happened in the plot, the Sydney Opera House doesn't belong in Perth.
Yeah, I don't know where either of those are.
Sydney, or the Washington Monument in downtown Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The Washington Monument doesn't belong in downtown Detroit any more than something that's in Sydney, Australia belongs in Perth, Australia.
Okay.
Famous landmark A does not belong in, it's like, we're not taking the Washington Monument and sticking it in downtown Detroit for no reason. That's what I call doing your research. So you actually, if you're referencing something that's real, you actually know what you're talking about. And I think that's a great fact. And even if it's just with the type of characters, if you have a gay character, or you're a male writer and you're writing a female character, talk to people about what you're putting in the book. Make sure you're somewhat on the right path or on the right path.
I think she taught me a lot, because on my later works, The Living Remnants and the latest one, Ghosting, people seem to love those, especially because they star like a woman character. So when I sent it to my editor as a draft, while the drafts needed work, it wasn't like that wasn't the main issue of, me being sexist or misogynistic. So I like to think I've learned things over the years.
I think everybody does. I think everybody learns and grows all the time.
I wish that were true.
I'm willing to bet it is true. You just may not realize it. But even you said you had written better female characters this time than you did last time.
Yeah. Well, I'll see where I kind of want to do something. I have people, it's weird. I read my reviews. I'm not like one of other writers who don't, and it's, I guess people want to know where that ghosting, because it's kind of, I have an idea. I want to write a story. See, I kind of want to get the Hellspire series done. I mean, I love writing it, but it's kind of restricting because I guess it's more traditional. It's probably my fault. I probably could have done whatever I wanted to at the time. Although things are getting a little more out there as the series progresses. But like these shorts and novellas, I feel like I could do whatever. And then I got like plans for some of those in like a shared universe, but not in the way the movie studios do it, because they do it terribly.
So what publication path did you take? Are you traditionally self-published, independent?
I'm self-published. I tried the traditional route. I probably was maybe too young because I was like a teenager, early 20s. I was probably too young and my writing sucked, so I wasn't ready. I don't know what it would be, how it would be if I tried it now. But I mean, with the way things are now, I don't really need to go that route. It's kind of antiquated, that whole business model to begin with. So I don't know if I'd want to do that.
I say each writer has their own path, and whatever suits them works. Now let's talk book cover design for just a moment. Do you make your own book covers, or do you again seek professional assistance for your book covers?
Oh no, I source that out. I don't know anything about graphic design except to go, that's bad or that's good or that needs fixing somehow. But I couldn't tell you how to do any of that. So I hire people for that.
I think they always say don't judge a book by its cover, but everybody does.
Oh yeah, I'm very shallow. I judge books by their cover all the time.
I do. I've been known to do it too. So I think we're all guilty on that score. So you like having your main series, the Passage of Hell's Fire, and then you like having these little novellas and things on the side. Is there another series maybe coming, or another book that's not connected with, a full-length book that's not connected with these?
Well, after this fourth book, I want to write something, because ghosting, people keep saying that's like an origin to a superhero or a supervillain, depending on how you feel about it, I guess. So I do want to write something in that world, kind of like, I don't know if you've heard of, well, I know you're not the biggest George R.R. Martin fan, but he wrote this thing called The Wild Cards, and it was kind of like, I read one or two books, it was okay. Not as good as A Song of Fire and Ice, but he wrote these like standalone books that they all had powers. It was kind of like reading Marvel or DC in a shared universe, but with books. Sometimes they were interconnected and sometimes not. I feel like I have a story idea after this fourth book that will be shared in ghosting. And then who knows? I don't know where I'm going with that. Maybe I'll get around to The Living Remnants, because people who read that said they were a little mad that the ending ended the way it did. It's kind of and then they want to know more. I don't know. Always leave them hanging, I guess, or guessing.
Well, at least you left the endings open so you can pick them back up later.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I think too many people do that. But I do resolve everything, that's in there. I know some people are just like, I have this huge book, I spent X amount of time on it, I'm just going to cut it in half. And then you want to know the rest, you got to buy the second, because, they want to make money or whatever. I mean, if I was a reader, that would make me mad.
Oh, I think each book needs to have a complete arc. We need to get from point A to point Z, but if you leave a few loose threads, smaller, like subplot type things hanging, it gives you the ability to pick those up and develop those more in another book.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do. Maybe it's because my all-time favorite show is The Twilight Zone. So I like the way those are written. So, you can have it end on a whoa or leave things hanging. And that's why I love writing shorts and novellas aside from full-length novels, because you can do things like that. You don't have to explain everything.
I think it's great to leave a few things up in the air. Well, Mark, we have come to the time where we have to pay those radio station bills. So okay. We're going to take a brief commercial break. We will pick back up on the other side.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
All right. Thank y'all for hanging in there with myself and author Marc Johnson, who seems to be writing all around the sci-fi fantasy world. So, how you doing there, Marc? Got those commercials out of the way?
Not bad. I'm doing okay. They were great to listen to.
Gotta have them. As you know, there's a cost with everything, and unfortunately, radio station says gotta play some commercials at the bottom of the hour.
Hey, fair enough.
They're in it for the money. I'm in this show for my love of books, and I love always kind of pulling back the curtain and letting people who like to read books find out not just more about the book, but more about the author. So that's why I do it. That's my motivation. Everybody always likes to think they got something from behind the scenes. Tell me you don't enjoy that when one of your favorites, you find, your favorite authors or favorite TV characters, you find out some little thing from behind the scenes.
I do. That's why, although I'm mostly digital on things I love, like certain movies and shows, I'll buy and watch all the extra features.
Exactly. I think that's what makes them fun. So you're working on this 4th book for Passage of Hell's Fire.
I am.
Is it gonna be the final book in the series?
Nope, there will be 6. So this is, I guess I'm halfway there. This will, I don't know, it's weird. It's hard to talk about it without spoiling the previous 3 books, I guess. So something happened to Hellsfire and he lost things, I guess. So this is a weird, though the hardest thing with this 4th book, I'm doing something different because the first 3 are all in first person. And because of what happened in the 3rd one, the 4th one, I didn't want to be stuck in his mopey head the whole entire time. So I'm doing the 3rd person, and I'm bouncing around from characters. Some characters were previously seen in the 3rd book, maybe for like a second. So there's a lot of new characters. Far less magic in this book. It's far less fantastical, I think. What's surprising me is even though I outlined it, there's characters who I'm enjoy writing they're completely different from Hellsfire, and I didn't think I'd be following them around, but it turns out I am following them around. So it's fun. It's a nice little surprise. See, you can be surprised when you outline.
Well, I've heard the saying, no surprise in the writer, no surprise in the reader.
I've not heard that saying. That's an interesting one.
So I'd say, sounds like you're on the right track.
Yeah, I hope I am. I'm curious of what my editor thinks, because she saw the outline, but I don't know some things. We'll see how I handled things when everything's all said and done.
And I think it's great. Like I said, I'm going to commend you again on your use of an editor, because I literally ran into one author. They write their first draft, they go through it once, and then they publish it. Then they take it down and edit it and put it back up. And I just think that is the wrong way to go.
I mean, I do too. I understand a lot of their reasonings for why people don't do it, or some people, they do it that way. They're constantly changing things. Because, it is really expensive I'm talking about, for specifically, a developmental edit, which I think is the most important thing. But I think people can save their money and then buy one. I don't know. Do you buy an editor? Rent? Get their services? Whatever the case may be.
I think it's important. But no, this person's book, literally the plot had made no sense. There was still major typos and major misspellings. And I was like, I actually reached out to them on social media and went, have you even read your own manuscript that you just put out there? No. It was my first draft. I just hit publish.
Oh, well, that was no good. Even though my editor goes through it a couple times, and then I even have someone else go through it looking for typos and stuff. I found I notice eventually when I have time, I gotta change some things in the 3rd book because there's a couple of typos. Nothing, it's not major like your friend there.
But I can read past 1 or 2 typos, and most of us, literally, our brains will fill in the correct word, and we won't even notice. But we're talking, there was 6 or 8 typos a page, and punctuation was off, and grammar usage was off, and there were random sentences plopped in the middle of a page that made no sense. Like it was note to the writer.
Yeah, those are bad. Those are bad, but I still don't think those are the worst things in a story. I think the story is because those, I feel like, they're important because people will notice all those things you just said. But I think the most important thing that people don't get worked on is the story. Like my editor, she'll point out a few, that word's wrong or whatever, but the most important thing is characters' motivations, the reason I add this doesn't make sense, and this happened earlier in the book, things like that. She's working on the story. At least that's what I pay her for. I pay someone else for those things you mentioned. And And what was I going to say? Oh, because like if you look at a lot of writers, I guess not your friend, but a lot of writers, their first like couple chapters they're fantastic. And why are they so good? Is because those first few chapters or first X amount of pages, they always send those in to the publisher or agent. So they work on those the most. And that's what I've noticed in some books that end up not being very good. Like the beginning is very good, but then after that, like everything gets weaker. And I'm just like, oh, so they worked really hard on these first part when they had like, get past an agent or a publisher. Whether they self-publish it themselves or not, I don't know. But then after that, things just get weaker, and you're like, oh, they didn't work on it as much as they did the front half as they did the middle or the ending, which is very disappointing, I think.
I think quality of writing has a lot to do with things, but I also think, like you said, the story plot, the arc, the overall character development needs to make sense. I mean, you don't want to take a character that's been bouncing off the walls happy all the time, give no explanation, and suddenly plunge him into depression.
Yeah, I'm remembering some books I read now where it's like, I've read a book, I don't remember the details, but I felt like, it was like reading the second or third book in a series, and then I was like, did I miss something? Because all the stuff they referenced before, it felt like, I should know it, but I learned that, oh no, there was no previous book. But I was like, oh man, they should have wrote a book about all this other stuff, which would have been interesting. And then I had this one author where it was like, they were setting up things, but they weren't like doing it well. It was like an affair, I guess. It was a thriller. It was one of the last thrillers I read, which wasn't, I don't think, very good. But it was like, oh, I guess she had an affair with her sister's husband, but it was just off the way, and it was just the first book, but nothing was subtle, or there wasn't like the weight of the history. I don't know. It just didn't grab me. This was disappointing, but it was a free book on my Kindle, so.
Well, like I said, my love of reading is part of why I do the show that I do. Are you one of these writers, and I'm guessing no, but I'm going to make you answer this. You have a schedule, and you get up and you write at the same time every day in the same place.
No, it's harder now. Being an adult, this is what I tell kids and teenagers, being an adult sucks. Don't do it. It's hard, because back when I was like, in school, I'd have breaks. And unless I'm like a teacher, which the thought has crossed my mind because I got a million friend teachers, you don't really get time off. Unless, I guess, you're a tech bro, you might get time off. But like America sucks in this regard, right? Because all these other countries, we get like maybe 2 weeks a year, but we don't all take it at once. And then they get like a month or two off. And then they get to travel. And they get to enjoy life, because life's not about working. So I had a point. Oh, okay. So I write usually when I get home or back from boxing or whatever. I usually just write. I have a set amount of word goals per day. And then, I try to do it. Although on Saturdays I don't, because I like to enjoy my Saturdays. So I try to hit that. It's not much. It's not a lot. It's weird because I think about the times when I was younger, and I can write a whole like 80, 90,000 manuscript in like maybe a few weeks. And now, I guess looking at my spreadsheet, it'd take like a year. This is very, very disappointing. Being an adult and getting old sucks.
I think that's funny because, you still got to pay the bills. And I think, as most authors know, for 99% of authors, writing won't pay the bills. It's the love of the craft that keeps you going.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know if I was offered, because like I said earlier, a lot of writers' goals is to make money because they want to turn it into a career. They want to be like Johnny Depp in that horrible movie, Secret Window or whatever. That was appealing to me when I was younger. But then as I'm older now, I think about it and I'm like, if I could, I would write. I like to write more, but I would probably still have a part-time job because I wouldn't want to be, trapped in my place, writing, gaining a ton of weight, not interacting with people. Even though I don't particularly like people, I do like to see what's out there sometimes. So it's like, I don't know, would I want to do that? Because I look at like the Twitch streamers, the YouTube personalities, they do what they love, the podcasters. They do what they love in the beginning. Then they like get paid for it. And then they got to put out more. And then they just get burned out. You hear them, they go like, I need a break. And then their fans are all upset. And then they're upset and they're like, why? Why don't they like me? Or something. And then they like end up quitting or not. And they're like, oh man, this isn't as enjoyable watching these movies, playing these games. This isn't as fun. There's no more fun because, it's work, but it's like a lot more work. It's very weird. Maybe I should treat it more like work to put out more input, to be fair. But, I don't want to get to that point where it's like, oh man, I hate writing. I don't want to write. Like, I hate it at times because I'm stuck. But I don't want to be like, man, this is a chore. What am I doing with Hellsfire today? What am I doing with this novella, this Worlds? I don't know. I just care about the money. I don't know.
All right, you've mentioned this twice on air. Why do you say you don't like people?
Because people. I mean, I don't hate people. I just, I'm one of those people that would like
shy, quiet types. You're one of those shy, quiet types in person.
No, I'm an introvert, which I found out the correct definition years ago instead of what I thought it was. And like an introvert, like you get drained being around people in like loud, crowded places, whether it's going to a concert or a club or wherever there's just a lot of people. So I think that's why I say it, because it's not that I don't like people, although sometimes I don't, because let's be honest, people are stupid. It's like Men in Black and what Tommy Lee Jones says, people are stupid. But it's also draining just when I'm out and there's like a ton of people, even if it's something that I enjoy doing or like, and I want to see that thing that I'm going to, especially here in San Francisco. It's like, man, I'm just drained at the end of the day. And then I'll have friends who they'll get all hyped up, and I'll be like, guys, I really hate you. And then me, I could just like be not happy going hiking by myself or doing some archery or being up in the woods or on the beach, whatever, with just a few people. Yeah, I guess that's what I mean.
Okay, so you like small groups and not overly crowded spaces.
Yeah, and then something always goes wrong. There might be a fight. It just turns into, there's a lot of drama.
Trust me, I know all about the drama. I have a group of friends, and this is something I've actually never mentioned on air. I have a couple of games I play, and we have the same group of 10 friends. I have the same group of 10 friends, 10 to 15 friends that play all three of these games. And every once in a while, there's the drama in amongst it. And it's all virtual because we've never actually met in person. Although we keep saying we're going to. We're from all across the country. And it's just hilarious sometimes, the drama. And so it's like, okay, guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you next week. Click. And I literally will try and stay away. But 3 days later, I'm just a moth to a flame. And I've got to go back and find out what's going on.
Are you playing like a D&D online or something?
No, we actually have a group, an alliance in Game of War, and then we have a couple of the spin-offs, and then there's my Angry Birds Friends group that we all try and beat each other every week. So yeah,
okay. I am going to. Oh, go ahead.
It's all virtual stuff, but every once in a while, he attacked so-and-so, and so-and-so is protected, and
I play a lot of board games. In fact, I'm going to Gen Con next week, or the week after, whenever it is. So I understand about all that. Although it is going to be nice to meet some people that I only, associate with online. It's going to be crowded, though. That's a lot of people.
We'll talk about that one a little bit off air. I got a couple of tips for you. Because, to be honest, most of my friends, I have friends scattered around the globe. Because most of my close friends, I've met as a military spouse. And, well, in the military, I said it before, you move every 3 to 5 years. And, well, where's that person now? Probably not at the same base you are.
Okay.
So, we'll talk about that a little bit off air. But I totally understand the going to loud, crowded, noisy places. Yeah, it can be a challenge. I'm not known for them either, but I can be very outgoing as well. And it drains me, but probably not to the extent it drains you. I have a bright and bubbly and outgoing personality, and then I have I'm reading. What are you doing here, human? I think it's all about what activity I'm involved in and who I'm with and what's going on and how many people are around. Gen Con's probably going to be pretty crowded.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, though. Although everything's sold out, all the badges, so it's going to be... I went a couple years ago, had a blast.
That's great. So what do you do when you're not going to Gen Con and not writing, besides work? Work doesn't count.
No, work doesn't count. I used to go on dates. I don't know what happened. I haven't been on a date in a few months. It's very weird.
You mentioned boxing. Is that how you stay in shape?
I mean, I could stay in a better shape. I like the box. It's fun. I like the game. I game a lot. Board games. Mainly Stupid Hearthstone. I guess I play that too. I was playing board games last night with drinking some Raktaginos. It's in honor of the TNG 30th anniversary. I'm also a big Trekkie. I'm actually a big nerd in general. I don't know. What do? I have side jobs. Does that count? I need money. I don't know.
Living out in California, I could see where you'd have a side job or two.
Yeah, it's expensive here. People think we make a lot of money, and then it's like, yeah, if you look at our rent, it's not really that much money. So, I don't know. I wish I had more time for myself, stay home and do nothing, to be fair. But gotta use them sick days sporadically. Cough, cough.
Oh, yeah. You take one when it's really, really important, or you are really sick.
Yeah.
You mentioned your 4th book in the series. When is that due out? Are we talking next week, next month, next year?
It's gonna be next year.
Okay.
I'm about almost 50, and I gotta send it to my editor. I have to finish it. I gotta go over it myself, then send it to her. Luckily, I noticed after the first to her, things tend to speed up because I got the I don't know, the where it's like the shape is there, kind of like what those people do in Ghost with the clay pots and everything. It's like it's there, but it's not quite there yet. So things do go faster, but I don't know. Yeah.
The shape's
we'll
there,
see.
you
I
just
don't know.
need to refine it. So you've got the overall shape. Now you're just getting ready to start refining it.
Well, yeah. As soon as I'm done with this draft, then that's the next year. Sure. Yeah, it's almost over. I don't know.
All right, Marc. So you've mentioned you've got that 4th book that you're working on for Passage of Hell's Fire. Is that coming out the end of this year, next year? What time frame are we looking at?
It'll come out next year. I think I'm about halfway through it. It's hard to say. Even though I've outlined it, I don't know, and I know when it's going to end. I don't know how long it'll be or how long it'll take to finish writing. I'm about 50,000 words in, so I think I'm either halfway through or 2/3 the way through, something like that. 2018 though, mark it. Yeah, I hope it comes out then. No, it'll come out then.
All right. So the 4th book you said won't be the final installment. So are we going to try and do 2018, 2019, and 2020?
No, because then after this book, I'm gonna write different story set in the world of that ghosting one, although with different characters. So yeah, and then I'll come back to the 5th book, and that is one of the reasons why it takes me forever. And these books are long. I feel I'll probably take a month off when I'm done with the 4th book's called Eternal Darkness. Might take a month off and be like, oh, thank God.
Well, I think it's good to take time off when you've accomplished something major. As I do with every guest at the end of a visit on Coffee Shop, why don't you give out all your social media contact information that you'd like to share? Your website, Facebook page, Twitter handle, all that fun stuff.
My webpage is marcanthonyjohnson.com. From there you can see everything. Oh, MARC, by the way. I'm on Twitter a lot, though, at Hellsfire. I tweet about the most random things, usually what sports or shows or movies I'm watching. And then what pops into my head, I have a Facebook. I think it's Marc Johnson Author. And then I have a Goodreads. I don't know what that is. And it used to be updated more because I would read more. I miss reading. I read a lot of comics though. And then those are their main things. I have a Twitch channel that I haven't really used in a while. But yeah, you can catch me on there. But yeah, and then you can always email me. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, are you going to give out an email, or is that the contact form on your website?
It's on the website.
All right, give out that URL one more time.
Okay, marcanthonyjohnson.com.
And that is MARC, folks. All right, well, just as a reminder, for those of you looking to catch up with me, the Jessie of Jessie's Coffee Shop, you can find me on Twitter at Jessie's POV. You can shoot me an email at the station, Jessie@KLRNRadio.com. And I will see you back here next Friday night with another episode of The Coffee Shop. And I think it is time for me to pour a fresh cup of coffee and settle down with a good book.
Hey, she's got that green applesauce pouch again. Ginny, want these chips?
I've got cookies. Guys, you know I don't trade my Go-Go Squeeze. Seriously, no one asked their mom yet?
I did, sort of.
You just gotta remember the name. Go-Go Squeeze. Let her know it's delicious. 100% fruit with no bad stuff and totally good for you.
What's it called again?
Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze. Made with 100% fruit and no artificial anything. Goodness on the go. Find it in the applesauce aisle today.